Hello and welcome to my very first video of my home daycare. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while, but finally decided it was time. Part of the reason I decided is because we are currently living in a rental home, and in the next 6 months to a year we will likely be purchasing a home, and my entire setup could change at that time. So I thought it'd be really cool to show everybody how you can utilize spaces in your rental home to set up a great home daycare, or even just a great space for your own children to play. The space that I'm actually going to show you today is the space that we spend about 50% of our day. The other 50% is actually spent in the upstairs portion of the home. I will be sure to take a video of that space as well and share that with you all so you can kind of get an idea of how I do things here. So the space that you're going to see today is our main play space, as well as our table time space where we sit down and do our coloring and portion of our lessons. This space actually does have a separate entrance. Most of the time, this is where parents will pick up their children when we're finishing our day and they're just having a great time playing with everything wide open. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the tour, and feel free to comment with any questions you have. Thank you. This space is not necessarily the most beautiful space, but we've done everything we could to really try to make it as nice and comfortable as we can. This is actually where our kids will hang their artwork and any worksheets that they do for the day. And the parents love being able to come in and see them, and the kids love to grab them and take them home with them every day. Over here you will see I have a parent board. And usually I have my theme and letter written here. We also have our monthly newsletter hung up and some rules as far as our sick policy and our schedule. Now we will walk down the entry steps into the actual space. And over here you will see a few more clips. These clips are also used to hang any artwork and such that we may have. Sometimes I do run out of space, but we do the best we can to display as much as we can throughout the week. Moving forward, you will find that the children each have a folder here. This is where we put things that are ready to go home. Although, as I said, they do really like to grab their papers that are hanging up and take them home, and I never stop them from doing so. We have our calendar here as well. This is where we discuss our calendar time. Usually they're sitting over here at the table, which I'll show you in a minute when we're doing our calendar time. Moving past the calendar, you will see we have our little cubby storage here. This is where all the kids have a labeled bin that contains diapers and wipes for each of the children. They can also hang jackets here. Some of our children actually have jackets here that stay and don't go home, so we always have a jacket for outside. These bins here are our change of clothes in case a child soils their clothing, or there's a number of ways children can get their clothes messy through the day. And here we have diaper changing items that are labeled with each child's name, such as your Desitin and your baby powder, and also my gloves for doing diaper changes. And then this is just an empty miscellaneous bin that sometimes gets used. Keep wrapping around, and I'm just going to give you a quick peek at what you see from the entry here. And then I'll go around to explain each area. Alright, so coming in further, this is our board that sometimes we will use for lessons. Often this is just the board that the kids love to color on. They get creative, and I love when they call me over to show me the new letters that they're able to make or how they write their name. So they really enjoy having this board and being able to do as they wish with it. We have some of our letters up there. These are some of our flashcards from the letters we actually just completed. Up here I have name tracing things for each of the children. They can use the dry erase markers on those. Here I have my puzzle bin. You'll notice it is backwards. I used to leave puzzles accessible at all times, but it got to a point where we had puzzles scattered everywhere. So now we have set puzzle times where the kids will get some puzzles out and play with them on the carpet or at the table. I do have a TV down here. Most often this TV is used to play music, as well as any educational preschool videos that I might play. It comes in handy just to have a little bit of background noise sometimes. Most of what you'll see on this shelf is for my young ones, my little 1-year-olds that I have that are running around. This is mostly their zone. This is what they like to play with. Initially, I'd planned to make this more of a STEM area, but it really became handy to have it for a baby space. Now, one of the centers, you can call it, that I really get excited about is this little quiet corner that I've created down here. Under here, I actually have one of them gym mats. So it makes it a little extra soft to sit on. I'd love to show you, but it's actually hard to get to apparently. But it's one of these. Nice and soft, so it makes the area a little more cozy. In our cozy corner, we also call this our library. As you will see, I do have my areas labeled. And we have our little library. The books that I leave out for the children, these books are all hard-covered books and hard pages so the kids can play with them, and of course the little ones try to chew on them. So these are all safe for the little hands to play with. And coming over here, we've got some pillows and stuffed animals, and sometimes when they're tired, you'll actually just catch them coming over here and they'll bring their little blanket and just lay down and relax for a few moments. I've got some more stuffed animals in here. I've also got a few sensory toys in here. These are just nice at helping the children to relax. And so panning over to the left of our Quiet Corner library area, we have our Dramatic Play Center. In our Dramatic Play Center, we have our table and our little baby changing and feeding station. It also has a little washer. And over here we have our kitchen. You'll see we have a doctor kit here. We have a little play lamp. These are just some character toys. We have a little toaster oven and a cash register and some baby dolls and accessories and play food. That's all down here for the kids to play with. One of the ways I was able to separate our basement because I needed to utilize some of it for storage. We also are renting and I couldn't make any major permanent changes to the basement. So behind these curtains, you will find many of our craft supplies on this shelf. I've got all of my books that I don't want the kids to get into because they might rip them down here in these bins and boxes. Same over here, we've got crafts and games. And just by hanging these curtains, it conceals them. The kids do not mess with them at all, which has been good. And that just gives me some storage, and it's like a wall that keeps our other side of our basement, which I'll kind of pan over and show you later. It keeps it where they're not seeing that, which isn't as visually as appealing. Over here we have our block center. Our block center also consists of our cars and trucks and our car rug you see here. I will periodically change some of these things out as well. We've got a couple different trucks. We have our tools. We do have a little house here. And we also have building blocks and Legos. This here is actually, for me, this is where I keep some of my supplies, more arts and crafts type supplies in here. So I just wanted to give you a quick view from this side of the daycare room. Currently I'm standing back here in our Dramatic Play Center that I just showed you. And you'll see we do have this not so pretty heating system down here, but we have it blocked off with a gate. It keeps it safe for the kids, and they're so preoccupied by the toys anyway, they don't even care about what's over there. Okay, so moving on from our Dramatic Play Center, you've also seen the Block Center, and now I'm just going to pan over here through there. This is where my other half of my basement is, with our storage shelves for our personal stuff, and I also have toys stored over there that the children aren't currently playing with. You'll see I have a gate to keep them out of there, and also I do not know if you noticed there is a gate here as well that keeps them off of the steps. But moving over to here, you'll see my board. This is where I write our theme of the month as well as our letter of the week, and we have our table time over here, so we'll be able to look at the board and have those conversations. I'd also said that we sit at the table often when we're doing our calendar time, so Sometimes they're spinning around in the chairs a little bit, but usually I keep these things moving decently fast and get them more active with their craft or their coloring or whatever we're doing that day. Down here I do have tons of coloring books. I store some crayons and glue and stuff like that down here. And then I have a lot of miscellaneous random craft stuff in here. They almost always come in use one way or another. Trays for playing with Play-Doh or anything messy. Kids can use these and keep from getting the table completely messy. And I have more supplies on this side as well. Just some painting smocks and our construction paper. So walking away from our art center, just going to come over here real quick. I wanted to make a quick mention that we used to do circle time down here. I used to have children get dropped off down here in the morning, and I had an assistant while I would get my kids ready for school. But my husband's schedule kind of varies and changes, and the past few months he's actually been able to take our kids to school in the mornings. So because of that, I have had parents dropping off upstairs so I can be part of my kids' morning routine. I haven't needed an assistant at all. But we used to do our circle time down here nonetheless, and the problem was I felt we were going up and down quite a bit too much, so it became easier to have parents drop them off at the front door. We get our breakfast, we do our circle time, and after circle time, that's when we head downstairs and we start our table time. So they know that they come down, they sit down, we do our craft and our worksheet for the day, and then they get to play and have fun in all of our zones. So I really hope this video was an inspiration to some of you who are maybe just stepping into doing your home daycare or looking to make some changes to your home daycare, or even those who are just looking to set up a play space for your own children. One thing I would like to do, I'm hoping at the end of this video that I can share a photo of what this basement looked like when we first moved into our rental, just to kind of show like even the flooring. I don't even think I showed the flooring. Let me take a quick. We do have these rubber tiles all across the floor, as well as some carpet, because the floors are concrete, so that keeps it cushioned. Believe me, the kids trip and fall often, and often they get right back up, so they seem to be working well for us. But I'll try to share a photo of what it used to look like down here and just kind of show you can really turn a lot of spaces into something you didn't think it could be. Quick correction, these are actually foam mats, not rubber mats. So like I did say, I'm hoping to share my upstairs setup as well with you guys, maybe in the next few days. I'm not exactly sure, but I will try to get that posted as well and give you an idea of what we do upstairs. Upstairs is where we do our eating, and it's also where we take our naps. And while I'm preparing those meals, the kids are playing. And another thing that we have started to do, as I said, we do not do circle time downstairs anymore. We do it upstairs. So I'll be sure to share another video once I'm able to get a video of the upstairs space. Thank you all for watching. I do hope that this was inspirational, motivational, and helped you to get your daycare space set up as you would like.